You'll see below that there's some links in the comments section, and the link will take you to some folders where I've collected some books that address some of the issues that I have raised here, about journal articles, about how to write them, about mistakes to avoid. You might have seen some of these links in previous webinars. For instance, the one on EndNote and mind mapping, you would have seen some stuff, and they will take you to folders where you can download individual books and articles, all of which are going to do in a far more thorough way what I've done over 5, 10 or 15 minutes. So I hope you can take the time to follow those links. Thanks again. Book reviews and review articles. They are similar but not the same. Book reviews are an important function of most academic journals, is to provide a forum for people who share these interests. I regularly read this journal, and a regular feature of this journal is that recent publications related to this field are reviewed by a mixture of students and specialists. So they are recent books, and this is an important function of an academic journal, to not only bring together fresh journals from specialists and students, most of which have first appeared in academic conferences, but also for books related to this particular area to be reviewed by people who are developing an understanding of the area or who are specialists. And so review essays, and I mentioned this very briefly in the previous webinar when we talked about journal articles, but book reviews are very straightforward. If you have a particular interest in a particular author, you hear that an author has got something fresh out, you can contact a journal and express an interest of writing a review to be published in their journal. So they are recent books, and this is an important part in your literature review. If you are doing a thesis, if you're a master's thesis, you're wanting to master a particular area, you don't have to make anything new, you don't have to say anything new, but you want to demonstrate to your supervisor and to your examiners that you know your stuff. Now, as I said a number of webinars back, that it's very important for you to start doing your reading with the most recent. Why? Because this is where you are alerted to the most important people in the area that you can go and read later. So if you are reading as part of your literature review, which is part of a thesis, why not make the most of this and to read a recent book and then to contact a journal and to ask whether they'd be interested in a review being written. The comments that you make in your review will be able to appear in your thesis, and most journals will send you a free copy of that book. A review article is not the same as a book review. A book review just reviews one book. A review article depends on the journal, and again, you need to go to a journal website and you need to find out whether they accept journal articles, who their book review editor, if you want to do a book review, is. But if they do review articles, they will give you guidelines. It's usually less than a full submission, a full journal. And again, you need to read the journal websites, because some journals will accept submissions as short as 5,000 words, others the minimum of 8,000. Some people have caps, other people don't. You need to know who you are submitting to before you submit. You need to have read the guidelines. You need to know, what their citation system is. And if you use EndNote, this is no problem. You just go and you choose the style and you export it all in that way. So a review essay is different from a a book review, because a review essay is going to be reviewing what one or two recent publications have said about a particular place or a particular area. And so this is very much a compare and contrast kind of exercise. And so, for example, I'm always keeping my eye out for books that are coming out. And if there are two books that are analysing a similar issue, so one of my interests is in South Thailand, if there are two books written about South Thailand that come out within a couple of years, I might do a review article that compares what both of these say. And again, this plays an important part in a literature review, and it would be a great way for you to begin to work, to be reading, to be writing reviews on the books that you've read, and to be writing review articles that can be published in journals, but will also find its way in your thesis. Because and I'll be talking a bit about the role of a book review, a literature review rather, in theses later on. But this is a way of working smart. This is a way of being able of doing the things that you need to do as you are in your chapter of formation, but also doing it in a way which is smart. So I read a book because I'm writing a book literature review. I'm presently doing the literature review for my master's or PhD thesis, but I read that book and I'll send it to that journal as a book review. And I may have read 10 books over 6 months, and I may say, hey, these two are really interesting, I'm going to write a review article. So you can write it as part of your literature review and your thesis, but you'll also be getting academic credit and getting more confidence in submitting to a wider audience. I do hope that makes sense, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow. We're going to be talking a bit about this thing called a thesis next time. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening.